everyone and welcome to Studio de Soy. My name is Lina and today's video is another episode about polymer clay. Today I want to show you how you can create your own headband using polymer clay, so let's get started. If you want to support me and my channel, don't forget to hit the red button, like this video, leave a comment down below, and let's keep going. In today's video, I want to show you one more technique how you can create an interesting pattern out of polymer clay using extruder. And also, it's going to be a little bit of experiment. I decided to do a headband in a style of the Russian crowd, which called kokoshnik, and it's like more of like a modern interpretation. So for that, what I'm doing first, I created the draft on paper to see how I want my future headband to look like. This is what I'm going to be using in this project. It's going to be clay, extruder, also you will need craft knife and the bowl. What I'm doing first is cutting out the paper stencil. After I cut out the paper stencil, I'm touching it to my head to see if it fits and if I need to adjust it a little bit. Also, I'm using the bowl to see how I'm gonna be baking the future headband. Alright, the paper stencil is ready, and now I'm using the leftover clay and I'm gonna create the base for the future band. For that, I'm taking some leftover clay and mixing it to have like one color. I flattened the clay as much as I could, but I suggest to make it even thinner than I did because I end up having a pretty thick base, and that's not a good idea because it's going to be heavy, and I think we're going for something lighter. Here I'm cutting out the shape out of using my paper stencil. As you can see, it wasn't enough for one of the sides, but I'm just adding on some clay on the side and just adjusting it. Alright, our base is ready. Now I'm attaching it on a bowl. Adjusting the shape, make sure it's all even on both the sides, and baking it for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, I start preparing the pattern sheet. For that, as I said, I'm going to be using Cernit brand with a series of translucent and opal. I hope I'm saying it right. Now I'm conditioning the clay, making sure it's warm. With a translucent clay, it's very important to make sure that the clay is soft before you start making anything out of it, because it's a little bit longer for the clay to get warm and flexible. Alright, I conditioned my clay and flattened it on my pasta machine on second level of thickness. I flattened all of my colors, and now the step's gonna be pretty much like when I did the clamp pattern. I'm again cutting out the circles a little bit smaller than my shoulder size so they would fit. I'm cutting out all of like little circles and combine them together, creating layers. Also, to make the process faster, I'm applying plastic wrap on top of the piece of clay and just cutting out the shapes. And after that, I'm removing the plastic and all of my little circles are ready. After that, I start forming the canes, applying the layers. I'm mostly mixing white colors and the shimmery transparent colors and adding a little bit of blue and yellow. Alright, my canes are ready, and now I'm uploading them into extruder, and I'm using the square disc nozzle. And what we're doing now, measuring the width of my headband and cutting out the base out of the white color in the same width. Then I'm slicing all of my square strings. And after I did that, I start slicing each of these little pieces into 3 pieces. You already can see how different and unique each of this pattern. When I sliced all of the strings, I started applying those little slices on top of the white clay. When I apply the pattern and flatten it a little bit with the rolling pin, it's time to apply it on our base. And for that, I'm covering the base with the liquid clay so the sheet with the pattern sticks on better. And then just applying it little by little. Also, a little mistake I did here, I didn't flatten the sheet enough, so it was kind of too thick for that, but now I know. It would be better if I flattened the sheet with pattern a little bit thinner. I'm also making sure to cover all of the edges, and I'm pushing all of the pattern sheet to the base so it's all like glued and stuck. And then I'm cutting the excess on the edges, and when I like how it looks, I'm sending it to bake for another 30 minutes. I need to cover the back side, and for that I'm mixing the leftover white and any leftover clay from the sheet and mixing it all together. Flatten it on a minimum. If it's like, I flattened it on a pasta machine on the first level, but then again I went with the rolling pin to make it even flatter. When the piece is baked, I'm again covering the back side with the liquid polymer clay. Here I'm adding elastic in the back so the future band would stay on its spot better. And for that, I'm just adding a little bit of the polymer clay, liquid polymer clay on the edges and covering it with this fresh layer of clay. Again, going over, see if any excess clay, and sending it to bake for another 30-40 minutes. my final result. As you can see, it came out pretty good. As I said earlier, I should have done the base and the pattern layer a little bit thinner so the headband would be even lighter than it is, but I'm pretty happy with the results. It's a very interesting experiment. It's definitely worth it. I might try another patterns to see how they look like. I also like the idea of bringing some traditional old accessories and give them like second life in the modern times. This is how my modern Russian crown looks like. The modern kokoshnik. I don't know why I did that accent then, but you got it. And this is it for today. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate that. And we see each other in the next video.